Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
And good afternoon, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the Wood TV Live Desk. Hope you're all having a great start to your day. West Michigan is currently under a winter storm watch, and as we're expecting what could be a pretty significant storm over the next couple of days that could produce a lot of freezing rain, sleet, snow, and even some ice. And so to help break it all down for us, is joining us today on the Live Desk once again is Storm Team 8 Meteorologist Blake Harms. Blake, thank you for being here again. We are kind of keeping a close eye on this storm. Just kind of briefly, what are we expecting?
Yeah, Phil, this is going to be a really messy system. As meteorologists, this is one of our least favorite storms to forecast because we have all precipitation types in play. The big question is where exactly is that going to set up and how heavy is it going to be? And now that we're getting closer to the event, we have increasing confidence in where heaviest precipitation and where the highest impacts may end up being from the storm.
Mm-hmm. Right, and of course I do want to remind everybody watching on Facebook that if you've got any questions for Blake regarding the severity of the storm, traveling predictions, just kind of everything that you might be concerned about, we are going to touch on a bunch of that here on this stream, and we will also be talking a little bit about it tomorrow as well, right here on the Live Desk. But if you've got any pressing questions that you want Blake to answer, leave them down in the comment section. We'll try to get to as many as we can. Blake, so I guess just starting off, you guys and the storm team have been monitoring the storm over the past couple of days now. Has anything really changed as far as your initial predictions, or has it gotten any better, any worse, anything like that?
Yeah, so I would say we've been seeing signals of the possibility of a storm for several days now. So that gives us increased confidence. In fact, I said the first thing about the storm to Ellen last Tuesday. We're seeing it in the weather models, and obviously being a week and a half out, normally that's a little too far to really hone in on a storm. But we've been seeing the signal in the models for several days, in fact over a week, and now we're seeing them come into a clearer focus, better agreement as we get closer. And so I would say that overall, our thinking over the last few days really has not changed all that much. Mm-hmm. There's still some uncertainty, but I think overall we're having increasing confidence in what the system will produce as it continues to get closer.
Mm-hmm. Right, and we do have some graphics that you're going to break down for us in just a little bit, Blake. But yeah. I guess the main question that I'm sure a lot of people are having right now is what are the impacts that we could see from this sleet, freezing rain, even ice?
So first, actually, if we could take that winter storm watch, I'll kind of show you that just about everyone is expecting some sort of impact from this storm. It just depends on what precipitation type you may end up seeing. So what you're looking at now is Futurecast, and this is early tomorrow morning, so just before the morning commute. And note that there is the possibility of some light to moderate snow north of Grand Rapids, so maybe a slick morning commute up there. But it's really not until we get later in the morning into early afternoon where we start to see some increased impacts. So I believe we have the Futurecast later Wednesday morning. Yeah, so this is by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It actually will likely begin closer to the noon time. And so by midday onward is when we expect deteriorating conditions. That pink is a mixture of sleet and freezing rain. And then if we go into Wednesday evening, that next time frame, you can see it gets steadier, if not heavier, with heavy snow north of M46. And even into Thursday morning, we continue to see possibility for some light precipitation, some freezing drizzle that could hang around through the morning commute through early afternoon. So this is going to be an event that impacts multiple commutes, but it really begins to go downhill around midday tomorrow into the evening commute time frame. So we do have that winter storm watch in effect for all of West Michigan. Within the next hour to hour and a half, we expect a change to some sort of winter weather advisory, winter storm warning, or ice storm warning. We're waiting to see what is issued for where, and we should have some more clarity on that again in the next hour to hour and a half. We'll have updates coming up at News 8 at 4. But there's no doubt this is going to be an impactful system. The biggest question mark we have with this storm is for areas right along I-96. So basically Grand Haven over to Grand Rapids, Ionia over towards Lansing. That is the area where we have the most uncertainty, where we could see sleet. And that's good. We want sleet as opposed to freezing rain. Freezing rain sticks to trees, sticks to power lines. That creates problems. Sleet is still horribly messy to deal with, creates awful travel, but it's ice pellets, so it doesn't stick to the power lines, doesn't stick to the trees. So that's a situation we're hoping for, and that remains a distinct possibility right along I-96. It's more places like Allegan, Berry, Eaton, northern Calhoun, and Kalamazoo counties where we stand the better chance of seeing plain freezing rain for an extended period of time. And that's where we're particularly concerned for significant icing.
Right, definitely. And very quickly, Blake, I do want to kind of touch on some of the questions that we are seeing on Facebook already. We had an initial question from Amy. Amy, thank you for watching. We did kind of get into that, though, about the time frame when we do expect this to start to get a little bit more severe. Some of the other questions we're seeing right now about these alerts and watches and warnings that we've already gotten, you've mentioned them that, we're likely to get a lot more information up and coming.
Brand new update, actually, just about 10 seconds ago.
Breaking news,
yeah,
right here
breaking
on the live
news.
desk.
We have an ice storm warning that is now in effect for Allegan, Barry, Eaton, Ingham, Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun, and Jackson County. So actually, I'm just going to show you my phone. So these are the counties that just got put under the ice storm warning, and that runs through 4 a.m. on Thursday. And then I'm going to pull up the winter storm warning that has just been issued for the remainder of the viewing area. So
can you kind of touch on the differences between those two warnings?
Yeah. So here's the winter storm warning for the I-96 corridor to the north. And again, this was just issued a few seconds ago. So I'll read the highlights from the winter storm warning for you. It says that, so we'll start with the ice storm warning, actually. So for Allegan, Barry, Eaton counties south, total ice accumulations of up to 1/2 inch. Total snow and sleet accumulations up to 1 inch, winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. That begins at 10 a.m. Wednesday, continues through 4 a.m. Thursday. 4 a.m. Thursday. Power outages and tree damage are likely due to the ice. Travel could be nearly impossible at times. The hazardous conditions will greatly impact the Wednesday evening commute. So that is for those areas, Van Buren and Kalamazoo. Total ice accumulations of up to 1/4 inch. So slightly less for areas near and west of Kalamazoo. And that winter storm warning is for sleet and snow accumulations of 1 to 3 inches and ice accumulations of 1/10 to 4/10 of an inch. Winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And travel could become very difficult. So, again, despite where the heaviest ice accumulation is expected, travel will be very difficult for many locations for the second half of the day, Wednesday into early Thursday.
Right, so definitely something to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. Blake, just a couple of more questions, but first, I do kind of want to go back to some of those other graphics you did share with us. I think those are going to be very important for our viewers. This is what it will, the Futurecast at about 8 a.m. on Thursday.
Just showing the impacts. The warnings are set to expire early Thursday, but we do still anticipate some pretty significant impacts.
Right.
That was the winter storm watch that has now been replaced. And so that is ice storm warnings and winter storm warnings that have replaced it. This is the timeline as we run through Wednesday. So the Wednesday morning commute, maybe a bit slick north of M46, north of Muskegon to Greenville. But for most everyone else, it should be fine. It's more Wednesday midday where we see conditions go downhill, and it's especially that Wednesday evening and Thursday morning commute that will have the greatest impact.
Right.
So that's when you really probably want to be where you need to be by that time frame.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so here's the map. So this is our latest thinking for precipitation types. Again, right along the I-96 corridor to the north is where we could see sleet eat into the ice totals. Travel is still not going to be good. North of M46 is where we stand the best chance of seeing 4 to 8 inches of snow. Areas south of I-96 stand the best chance of seeing the significant freezing rain. And then it'll be likely mostly rain south of I-94, although there is the possibility of seeing some freezing rain mix in at times.
Right.
This one is just the weather impacts, chance of freezing rain high. Power outages, we may have to up that to high just based on the wind speed forecast. Areas that do see significant icing, unfortunately, will also see gusty winds. And then dangerous roads. Roads are going to be, the words from the Weather Service earlier today in a meeting with them, the Wednesday evening commute could be, quote, potentially atrocious. So that tells you just how significant the system will be and the impacts that will be felt along with it.
Right, yeah, no, definitely something to keep an eye on. And Blake, you are going to be here tomorrow as well on the live desk, and we'll kind of break it down even a little bit further. But I know that you have a lot of meetings to go to today specifically for this, so we're going to let you go. Blake, thank you again for stopping by today to talk about it.
One final note, we're at the school closing prediction coming at 5 o'clock. Granville Public Schools has already announced a half day. I anticipate just about every school will do either a half day or a full day off, and we'll have more on that coming up at News 8 at 5.
Yes, no, perfect tease, perfect way to end this segment. Blake, thank you for being here on the live desk today.
Thank you.
Yes, and I want to thank everybody else for tuning in to this latest edition of the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm Phil Penarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.